Hello everyone. Welcome to 2020. How is everyone? This is Kathy from Divine Debut. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the new era, to a new decade, to a new year. I will be doing your January videos from the 1st till the 15th. They will be following this video. For those of you that are interested in the astrology, a little bit of astrology, and what's going on in this very, very important month of Capricorn season. Of course, happy birthday to all my Capricorn people out there. Many happy returns. I thought I would just touch base with you in relation to what's going on in the sky in this month of January 2020, since we are in between eclipses. So, as you can see here, I've done the chart and I've put 0 of Aries, just so you know. This is what the natural horoscope looks like. So just so I don't mix everyone up, most of you know a little bit of astrology, others of you are beginners. So I'm going to make it as simple as I can, just a little bit of astrology. I did put Thessaloniki, Greece here, because this is where I'm coming from, and this is where I'm based now. And thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for your beautiful, beautiful wishes for 2019 and the holidays. I hope that you all had beautiful holidays and you're still on holidays, and it's a time to take a break before we go back to the grinding stone of Capricorn season, which is quite demanding. And when we say Capricorn season, we mean obviously that the sun, as you can see here, is in Capricorn. This is on the 1st of January 2020. So the sun is at 10 degrees here of Capricorn. Of course, we've got the Capricorn party here, which is Pluto, Saturn, the sun, the south node of the moon, Jupiter and Mercury, all in Capricorn. This is major, this is huge. And look at where Saturn and Pluto are. They're only a degree apart, which is phenomenal. Okay, last time they came close like this was back in 1982. Okay, so it was a big deal, and that was happening in the sign of Libra. They were in the sign of Libra. So what is Capricorn? Capricorn, of course, is all about work. It's the house of career. It's the house of the elder, the father. It's how we socially stand in the world. So Capricorn, of course, is Earth. The ruling planet of Capricorn is Saturn, and it is right next to Pluto. And Pluto is the ruling planet, of course, of Scorpio. So the ancient ruler of Scorpio is Mars, which is in Scorpio. So both Mars and Pluto both rule Scorpio. Now, let's just go here. Mars at the last degrees, 28 and 39 of Scorpio, is very, very strong. It's very hot, just like the red planet is. So, of course, it's very happy here in its home sign of Scorpio. Mars is soon going to move, actually on the 3rd of the month, 3rd of January, it's moving into the sign of Sagittarius. Not very strong there. But let's go back here to the party in Capricorn. We've got the south node, which is very karmic. Now, the south node is usually K2. Rahu is the north node. Rahu, the head of the dragon, and K2, the tail of the dragon, where we excrete. So this, the dragon excretes from the tail. The head is in Cancer, which is, you know, the north node of the moon, is what we're fated to move towards in this lifetime, in this incarnation. So we're mostly going to be focusing on things to do with Cancer, of course. Cancer is the home, it's the family, it's the mother, it's the fourth house of our foundation, our heritage, our lineage, okay? So more focus on home and family, less on what the south node is, which is something that's, we're coming from the south node, either from another incarnation or from our childhood, depending on what you believe in. Do you believe in past lives? In the, you know, our soul, our spirit lives on. So when we pass on from one incarnation, we move into another. Everyone's beliefs are different. Now, of course, this is looking at it in a general way. Of course, again, it's what we all believe in, how we see things like this in our life. And of course, you're here listening to me, so I totally believe in past lives and that our spirit lives on, and therefore the South Node is what we're familiar with. So the South Node is in Capricorn. That comes naturally to us. Now, finding the middle ground, which is the middle point between the South Node and the North Node, that's where we should be. A little bit of a healthy balance of both. We can't go into unfamiliar territory, which is the North Node, straight away. It takes time, it takes, lessons. We have to learn how to swim, don't we? We have to learn how to walk, even though it's in our DNA. It's something that we have to grow into, and that's what the North Node is. Now, the nodes, of course, change every 18 months. At this time, we're having the North Node at 8 degrees and 23. And for those of you that are not familiar with this, the nodes, they go anti-clockwise when they're going direct, and they go clockwise, and I hope I'm saying it well, when they're retrograde. And they do change. So it's normal for the North Node to be going this way towards, it's traveling towards Gemini. 8 degrees is the North Node, 8:23 as is the South Node. Now, it's been at 8 degrees for a while, so that's very important. For those of you that have got any planets or points in your chart that are at these same degrees, it's a very fated time for you. But I'd also like to point out that because the nodes are very karmic, we are dealing with a lot of karma at this time. Relationships of any sort, romantic, family, workmates, whatever relationships you're dealing with at this time, they're going through karmic changes, okay? Not only are the nodes karmic, but Saturn is the lord of karma and time, and Pluto is very karmic as well. So there's a lot of karma going around at this time, especially with, the South Node here. Jupiter is right, it's conjunct the South Node. Now, I know that whenever we've got planets next to the nodes, they're amplified. Now, Jupiter is expansion and growth and amplification of everything that it touches on. So at this time, Jupiter is amplifying the karma of the South Node, of course. I can go really, really deep. I can tell you so much more, but I don't want to make this video too long. What I want to show to you is that we're in Capricorn season. A lot is happening. Jupiter is going to be going through Capricorn for the next year, up until roughly December, early December, okay, when it will change into Aquarius. But at this time now, it's amplifying everything in the sign of Capricorn, okay. Also, I'd like to also point out, going back to the transits of January. Now, as I was saying before, Mars enters Sagittarius on the 3rd of January. Okay, so let's go ahead to the 3rd of January And here we are. 0, Mars is, already in Sagittarius. The next important transit is the full moon lunar eclipse on January 10th. Here is the full moon lunar eclipse on January 10th in Cancer. And the full moon obviously is some sort of a culmination, a completion. Now, of course, the moon is right opposite the sun. We've also got Mercury at 20 degrees. Okay, we've got the sun at 20 degrees here. Of course, Jupiter is very close to the eclipse. It's 12 degrees apart. It's quite a wide orb, but still it's in the it's still connected. We've got Mercury, which is all about communication, technology, like anything to do with writing, speaking, collaboration in business, anything to do with logic. Now, Mercury is obviously conjunct with Saturn as well. Saturn and Pluto are right on top of each other, which is massive. This is huge. This is really huge. Now, as you have seen, the nodes are still at 8 degrees. They've moved very little. We do have the moon in Cancer. Now, the moon is at home in Cancer. It is in its rulership. The moon is our emotions. It's our mother. Cancer is home. Usually when the moon is in Cancer, we feel very sensitive emotionally. We feel the need for connection. It's quite overwhelming. Everyone can feel the full moon. But when it's an eclipse, it's amplified 10 times more. So especially an eclipse in this position here, because if we look at the sun, it's at 20 degrees. It's conjunct Pluto, Saturn, Mercury. Jupiter is not very far off. So, the sun and all these huge planets, and when I say huge, I don't mean size-wise, but energetically, they're all conjunct. And poor little Mercury smack bang right in the middle of that. So, again, Saturn is asking for integrity. Pluto is asking for transformation, for a rebirth. But I do feel that the positive of Saturn and Pluto here is that we're going through some sort of a transformation and a change. Obviously, Saturn, if we've done the work, we will be, rewarded with a rebirth, a new lease on life, a new chapter in our lives. And of course, we've done the work, we've communicated this. Of course, there are endings, new beginnings. What comes after a full moon? It's a new beginning. We're closing up a chapter in our life. We're moving on to a new chapter. So, after the full moon lunar eclipse on January 10th, on the same day, actually, and you can't actually see it here because it's obviously hours away, Uranus moves direct. Okay, and Uranus was the last planet actually to be retrograde. And it's all systems go. Let's see. There we go. So here we have Uranus at 2 degrees and 38 minutes, roughly, turning direct. And therefore, it's all systems go. If you can see all the planets, they're all moving direct. So this is a window of opportunity for us to go for what we desire, for what we need to do, what we want to accomplish. Uranus is, of course, turning direct in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is the money house, but it's also our physical body. It's the 5 senses. It's ruled by Venus. And therefore, with Uranus, which is radical change and, it's a left-wing turn, like it's a sudden jolt. Even though Uranus is turning direct, it still will be in its shadow period until April. So we're going over ground that we've already walked with Uranus. we're moving ahead, we're making the changes in our values, we're changing things up that are not of essence in our life. Okay, and that's what I love about Uranus, because it's newness, it's radical change, it's eccentricity, it's doing things for the first time in a different way. And that's why we're going to see a lot of things to do with money. The house of Taurus is money, as I said, different ways of dealing with money, with our values. It's the future. Let's not forget also that Taurus is earth. So Uranus can be sudden changes in the weather, especially depending on what aspects it's doing. But Taurus and Uranus will be transiting Taurus for about 7 years. Let's go on to the 12th. That's when Saturn will be exact on Pluto. So the 12th of January, we have, there we go, Saturn and Pluto, 22 degrees. All right, the day after that, Venus enters Pisces. Now, Venus loves being in Pisces. She's very happy there. There we go, Venus has entered Pisces. Okay, and Venus is very sensitive, obviously, in Pisces. Venus, of course, is love and money. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, therefore Venus will soon be traveling over Neptune. Venus and Neptune can be unconditional love. It can also be wearing those rose-colored glasses. Neptune obviously in its home sign of Pisces, so these two planets coming together, Venus and Neptune, is going to be a very, very special, very romantic time, but can also be quite elusive. So that's not happening yet, but Venus is on the way there. Now Mercury enters Aquarius on the 16th of the month, and Mercury loves to be in Aquarius. It's actually exalted there. So let's see, on the 16th, there we have Mercury here in Aquarius. As I said, Mercury is logic. It's all about, of course, it's very cerebral, and so is Aquarius, very intelligent. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus as well as Saturn, but Uranus is the right brain, Mercury is the left brain. So that's why Mercury, which rules Gemini and Virgo, that's why both Gemini and Virgo are very logical signs, and Mercury is very happy in Aquarius. So that happens on the 16th. Then on the 20th of the month, the Sun enters Aquarius. If you are an Aquarius out there listening to me, a happy, happy birthday to you. So there we are. The Sun is in Aquarius. On the 24th of January, we have a new moon in Aquarius. Of course, it's the time of Aquarius. Therefore, Aquarius gets their new moon of the year. So it's a very auspicious time for Aquarius people, obviously. And they need to make their wishes, obviously. Their wishes for the new moon. And of course, we can all make a wish on new moons, but for Aquarius, obviously, it's their solar return, it's their new moon of the year, so it's a very lucky time for them. See if you don't ask for something, and in a matter of 6 months, see if you receive your wish. Okay, so they're the important transits of January, everyone. It's going to be a big month, as I said. The energies of the eclipses, obviously when we move away from that time, the further we move away, the less amplified they are. But these strong eclipses and the transits that we're dealing with right now are going to echo for at least 6 months, I would say. So it's a very, very important time. And I personally believe I always like to think positively. It can be challenging, but whichever path we are put on, because sometimes it's not in our hands and the divine has got, another plan for us. If we are jolted onto another path, and of course that wouldn't, no sudden changes or easy changes, the path that we're put on obviously is what's meant to be. It's our fate. So it's a very fated time. It's a very karmic time. Just glide through it as well as you can. Sometimes, when we're familiar with the astrology, and therefore we know the energies that are going around, it helps us to be more understanding, because other people that are not as spiritually awakened to the energies and what's playing out in the ethers, they don't understand the pressure at this time. So if we can be a little bit more loving and more open and more understanding with others, then I think that we can just glide through the energies. And that's the wonder of astrology, is that it helps you, it opens your eyes to what's really going on. And sometimes it can be a little bit scary, but when you believe that there is a divine plan for everyone, for the world in general, on a collective scale as well, then you know that there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to be frightened about. Okay? So I think I will leave you at that. Thank you so much again for joining me. Thank you for the love that you show me. I'm going to be expanding these readings, obviously, but it's just been a very, very busy time, and I'm really struggling with the moving and the technical issues and the internet. Every beginning is difficult, so my new path has already begun. I wish you all well for 2020, and I will be here with you. We will get through this together. Sending you all much love, many blessings, and know that divine source is here with us always. And they've got a plan. So we need to believe that we are taken care of. Much love to all of you. Thank you.